Hello friends, welcome to the course of Instrumentation Systems. We are having a discussion on temperature and chemical sensors. Myself, Professor Nikhil Vijay from ENTC Department, KKW College of Engineering, Nasik. So, we are discussing about the temperature sensors, resistance temperature detectors, thermistors, thermocouples, and pyrometers. In the previous session, we had discussed about resistance temperature detectors, and in today's discussion, we will take a look at thermistor. So thermistor. So first of all, just take a look. What do you mean by thermistor basically? So it came from the word thermal and resistor. That's why it's known as a thermistor. The name is usually applied to a metal oxide sensors. It can be a semiconductor material and that are typically have a high negative temperature coefficient of resistance. But they are also available in positive. So they can be a positive as well. So basically, a thermistor belongs to the class of absolute temperature sensors, that it can measure the temperature that is reference to an absolute temperature scale. So all thermistors are basically divided into two groups, that is NTC, negative temperature coefficient, and PTC, positive temperature coefficient. But only NTC thermistors are useful for precision temperature measurement. So basically thermistors having high sensitivity which can be up to a 10% change per degree Celsius. So that it make it convenient. The most of the sensitive temperature elements are basically available readily. But thermistors also have a very nonlinear characteristics as you see. So the curve indicates the nonlinear characteristics of NTC type of thermistors. Nonlinear means its resistance decreases as temperature increases. So typical response time for the thermistor is 0.5 to 5 seconds with an operating range typically from minus 50 degrees Celsius to plus 300 degrees Celsius. And these type of devices are also available with a temperature range up to 500 degrees Celsius. The thermistors are low cost and manufactured in a wide range of shapes and size and values. But suppose whenever you require higher accuracy or operating range is wide, the thermistor characteristic should not be taken directly from the manufacturer datasheet. Why? Because it was adjusted at the factory for better tolerance to reach the high accuracy. This in turn increases the cost and manufacturers can trim the thermistor by grounding its body to a required dimension that directly controls the nominal value to resistance at a set temperatures. So definitely it affects the cost a lot. So alternative approach is at the end user it must be individually calibrated. So calibration means that the thermistor has to be subjected to a precisely known temperature and resistance is then being measured. So when in use, the care has to be taken to minimize the effect of internal heating as well. So there are basically two fabrication techniques of thermistor. One is epoxy coated thermistor bead and another is a glass coated thermistor bead. Let's take a look of epoxy coated thermistor bead. In the first diagram, if you can see the epoxy coated red color thermistor bead is given. So these type of sensors are generally like it appears like a teardrop shaped bead with two radial violets and they are very often these types of NTC thermistor temperature sensor are used with application in close proximity to moisture. And some of the application also include the medical devices that measure the airflow and air temperature. The epoxy bead thermistors are also frequently used in automotive applications as well. Okay. And it is critical that NTC thermistors are protected from direct exposures to fluids such as water and oil. And to accomplish this, the thermally conductive epoxy is used as encapsulant that is called the potting to seal the NTC thermistors. Okay. So temperature sensors in a stainless steel housings are also available, but epoxy not only protects the NTC sensors from moisture but enables a good thermal conduction from the medium being measured to the thermistor sensors. Okay. So thermally conductive epoxy basically provides operative effectiveness without degradation. Now when we talk about the glass coated thermistor beads, these encapsulated bead thermistors are of fine diameter lead wires. So here you can see this is the glass coated thermistor bead. These are basically suitable for self-heated applications such as liquid level sensing or gas flow measurement, and recommended for application where the customer will perform further assembly operations. So low cost temperature measurement and control compensations are basically application of glass coated thermistor. So thermistor materials are having a temperature coefficient of resistance, that is alpha, which is given by alpha is equal to del of R by Rs into bracket 1 divided by del of T, where del R is the change in resistance due to the temperature change del T, and Rs is the material resistance at the reference temperature. So device is normally used in a bridge circuit and padded with a resistor to reduce its non-linearity. Let's take a look of lead wire effects. So lead wire does add overall resistance. So base resistance of the thermistor is very large, that is greater than 10 raised to 3 ohms, and added lead wire resistance is insignificant compared to that. So no resistance compensation generally required in case of thermistors. A thermistor basically produces a resistance RT, which must be converted to a voltage signal. So here you can see a diagram. We have to apply voltage Vs. Additionally, one series resistance R1 with RT. So V out voltage across this resistance RT can be calculated as equal to Vs into RT by RT plus R1. So this is similar like voltage divider load, as we know. So power distribution in thermistor is also one of the important points that care must be taken while designing the circuitries. So current must pass through the thermistor to measure the voltage and calculate the resistance. So current flowing through the thermistor generates the heat because the thermistor dissipates the electric power, that is P is equal to I square of RT, and heat generated causes a temperature rise in thermistor. So this is called as a self-heating. So here you can see the flow of current, the path of flow of current of the circuitry will be like this. So self-heating can introduce an error into the measurement. So increasing the device temperature del T is related to the power dissipated P and the power dissipation factor del. P is equal to del into del of T. So where P is in watt, del T is the rise in temperature in degrees Celsius. Suppose I is equal to 5 milliampere and RT is equal to 4 kilo and del is equal to 0.0067 degrees Celsius. What is del T? So after this calculations, del T we are getting 1.5 degrees Celsius. So what effect does a del T of 1.5 degrees have on your thermistor measurement? You need to calculate all this. And how we can reduce the effect of self-heating. So what kind of modification we required for that? So you have to increase the resistance of thermistors. Let's take a look of certain advantages. It's highly sensitive to small temperature changes. Temperature measurements become more stable with use. Copper or nickel extension wires can also be used. And disadvantages are they have limited temperature range, fragile, some initial accuracy drift, decalibration if used beyond the sensor's temperature rating, and having lack of standards for replacement. So let's take a recap of today's discussion. We discussed about the thermistor, its basic concept, its nonlinear characteristics, its power dissipation, then how uh, reduce the lead wire resistances, okay, and some of its advantages and disadvantages. There are various applications of differently fabricated thermistors for epoxy coated and glass coated. So thanks for attending today's sessions. We will have more discussion on some of the temperature sensors in the next lecture. Thank you so much.